Hello again. Got another simple little tree decoration that if you want to do for your children, your grandchildren, whichever. So this one here is made out of burlap. It's fancied up with a few little buttons. You can do whatever you want. There's a jute string on the top. This one here is two different colors. This one here, back here, neutral color, you could write the name of the person and use this as a gift tag. We've just put a ribbon on this, but a little knot to keep it kind of centered. And this one here, I wanted to point out that this one here is cut with a pair of pinking shears. So it's a little bit fancier around the edge. This is our little trunk down in here. That same color both sides. And this one here is just cut straight with just a regular pair of scissors. And again, we're just sewing up there with our machine. You could always do that by hand if you wanted to. So what you're going to need for this project probably is a couple straight pins just to hold your little layer together as you take it to this machine. You might want some buttons to sew it up like we have on the burlap one. You're going to need a little chunk. This is about 8 or 9 inches long. You're going to need one small 4 by 4.5 piece of batting, or maybe white flannel, or just an extra piece of cloth just to give a little bit of bulk to our tree. And then you're going to need 2 squares, shapes, 4 by 4.5. One's for the back, one's for the front. And that's how they're going to be placed, this little cake or sandwich, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be knotting this ribbon in a minute, but we're going to be making a template. I got a little piece of cardboard here. It's 4 by 4.5, and we are going to go to the center here, and we're going to mark center. So it's 4, so we're going to mark our center out at 2 on the top and the bottom. Then we're going to move this 1/2 inch ruler up, and we're going to make a line across that. That's just going to be the bottom of the tree versus the trunk. And this one down here, this is going to be 1 inch big, so we're going to make half an inch on either side of that. You can just wing it best you can. And from our center line, we're going to come right down to the edge of the paper where that line goes off the edge. And we're going to do that on both sides, obviously, to make our triangle shape. There you go. There's your little template. Of course, you're just going to cut around the edge to make your template. We are going to mark this template on top of one piece of your fabric. You want something that's going to come off because your stitch line is going to be on here, so this line is going to be visible. We're not turning this inside out, we're just sewing and cutting, so chalker. Okay, so now we take one piece of our fabric, the good side's going down. We're going to put our little batting on top of that, square it up. Then we're going to be putting our one marked with our tree on the top. We're going to take a piece of ribbon, fold it in half. We're going to knot it at the bottom so it doesn't come out once we sew it in. Another good thing to think about when you put this knot in, you don't want that knot exactly at the top, because if that needle hits that, that's a lot of fabric right there, and it's well made. So pull it down a bit, pull this up, give it a twist, try and keep it in the center if you can. You can put a clip on there or a pin, whichever you decide. I am going to put a couple pins on it. Well, I might use the clips just to hold it in place, and then we're going to obviously sew. Back stitch here, sew down, back stitch, it doesn't hurt. Come down off the trunk, back stitch. Take the fabric off, back stitch, back up, and all the way around like that. So you're going to get this. I've done this in white, but you can absolutely do it in the same color as your fabric, but this is just a little bit easier to see. My ribbon up here, I want to make a knot in it, pull it down. It just looks a little more centered and neat to me, but you can do what you like, or your child can do what they want. It's the process, not the product, that is the fun. Again, we can cut this with scissors. prefer a straight edge or our pinking shears. And I'm going to cut that with my pinking shears. And it is done. And I can add it to my stack. And I am going to have my little tree decorated in no time. Hope you've enjoyed. Bye.